I'm going to rant because I've got more I want to say a little bit in the next segment about Dennis Rodman, because I've been out of town for a week and haven't really talked about this. The incredibly disgusting spectacle a little bit in the next segment and tie it into North Korea threatening to nuke the United States. Now the armistice, which was a ceasefire, has ended. So there's a state of war between the United States and South Korea versus North Korea. I mean, this is a big deal. You've got an insane little demon running North Korea. And as bad as the globalists are, and they are bad, this guy's what they wish they were. I mean, these guys can't even get their cars to work. But they've got a big military to threaten people. I mean, what a joke. That's one of the few countries that did a total roll-in and carpet bombing of the government would really be a nice thing. I mean, nothing could be as bad. Nothing could be as bad. I mean, I can look in the eyes of their government officials, all crazed and weird, sycophantic mental illness, and then some toddling little third-generation dictator moron hugging some burnout nobody. I was actually in Los Angeles one time. I'm not going to even tell a story. It doesn't even matter. Dennis Rodman is a complete joke. No one even wants to be around him. Bankrupted. Not that that's a bad thing in and of itself. Just an idiot. And it just shows how disconnected North Korea is. Man, I tell you. They say Kim Jong-un is just obsessed with Hollywood, and that's all he does is read Hollywood magazines and watch TV all day. I mean, what an obscenity. I mean, I would just love to get in a room with that guy. I mean, I would just love it. Wouldn't you love? Because I'm not somebody that dreams about beating the hell out of people, but I would love, just let me punch him 2 or 3 times. I guarantee you. All right, I'm not going to fantasize here. Can you imagine an uppercut to that nose, full power? I mean, just give it absolute, caveman swing. The nose would completely be off the nose. It'd be a big, gaping black hole of blood spraying out. And then right into those teeth. Bam. And then just slam that head on the ground. Can you imagine that, bouncing it like a basketball? I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I got to admit, I look at that tyrant, and I have fantasies. You know all the people they string up and torture and all the kids and women, because reportedly they're into women. That's what him and his daddy are reportedly into, torturing them to death. And then it's all cute for Dennis Rodman. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha. Ha. Look at the other sycophant. Who's that weirdo? I've seen, that's some comedian or something. Who's the other guy up there in the middle? Who's that guy? The other black guy above the crazy psychopath below him. Who is that guy? I know that guy. I've seen him. I mean, I've never, this is like hell or something. And just look at the smile on Kim Jong-un's face. I mean, let's wipe that off your face, you little ferret, you little gerbil. Oh, man, get it off screen. Get it off. I'm going to rant in the next segment. I said I'd take calls this segment. I didn't. I'll just come back and talk about it, and I'll go to your calls. I have an instinct to want to put bad people down. And I don't do that to sound tough or whatever. I have a problem just being honest how I feel. And looking at that punches my buttons really, really bad. It punches my buttons really, really bad. And I love the fact Dennis Rodman was thrown out of a bar. I mean, that guy, let me tell you, man, it'd be one thing if he went and was very solemn and it was actually an ambassador. It'd still be a joke. And said what you're doing is wrong and everything. Then I would say, wow, the guy actually did something. Instead, he went and groveled and said he was a great guy and all this, when the guy's, him and his family have like 10 million people's blood on their hands. And I've read about the confirmed reports about how the lower half class are put in pens as animals, and their kids are taken and sent to another camp so that there's no family. And the things they do in the medical experiments and all of it, the dehumanization, I think of the millions of, and the fact that when you look at their officers, they all have the same demonic look in their eye of just craven death worship, and I just absolutely want to annihilate them, don't you?
One of the best ways to promote the Liberty message is not only by listening to Alex's show, but also by wearing shirts that promote the message. And as you can see right here on InfoWarsShop.com, we have this shirt right here. It says Tyrant, and it also has a message in the back. It says, come and take it. Here's another great t-shirt. Come and take it. We obviously know that the Second Amendment is under attack, and this is a great, subtle way to let the public know how you feel. We also have some great ladies shirts. You could see them right now. This one says Infowars.com. There's a lot of female fans of the show. And we also have a female shirt that promotes the Second Amendment. Contrary to what some people might think, there are many females that love themselves some guns. And this is another great shirt that you can get. It's a camouflage shirt with Infowars.com written across. And now you have a choice. Do you want to end the TSA or end the Fed? We also have this great Army-style t-shirt, and this shirt, as well as many others, are available at InfoWarsStore.com. And last but not least, may the truth be with you. Obviously a reference to the Star Wars film. All these shirts are available at InfoWarsStore.com.
Let me run over some of the headlines here. First off, North Korea is constantly threatening to annihilate America and to attack South Korea and the rest of it. It is the ultimate example of why big government's bad and why state planning destroys things. More than 10 million estimated North Koreans have died since the armistice back in the 1950s, 1953. The war never ended. There was a ceasefire, or to use the European term, an armistice, and they have had a ceasefire there with the DMZ. They have abolished the armistice as of yesterday. They announced they'd do it Friday and said we may preemptively launch an ICBM, which they have, thanks to Laurel and Hughes and helping them get the reactors. The head of ABB at the time was Donald Rumsfeld, and Clinton authorized it. So bipartisan. Rumsfeld's involved in getting aspartame approved. Rumsfeld is involved in Monsanto and the Terminator gene. I mean, it's like he's the devil. There's a poof of white smoke, and there's Donald Rumsfeld there. But the point is that that's why they now have this and have missiles that keep blowing up the launch pad. Let me tell you, folks, I've watched how they've blown up. They've clearly got space-based and aircraft-based lasers that can shoot from hundreds of miles away and blow those things up. They are blowing them up. And that's why the White House came out on Saturday and said, we can shoot down those missiles. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, they had 30 years ago DC-10s with giant chemical lasers, the entire length of the jet aircraft, that are like Star Wars. I mean, particle beam, you're gone. Shoot right through armor, you name it. Very powerful. Regular laser would just bounce off. It's particle beam. A chemical laser with a cyclotron in it, a small superconducting super collider, and then it's like a rail gun, but it's small particles, and it heats up. The reason I know is, of all people, my dad got a grant in high school to build a primitive particle beam. They were handing out things like that then. He was top of his class, and he built a small particle laser and was blowing stuff up in the backyard. I can't believe I'm saying this. It sounds so crazy. It's actually true. And he didn't wear the proper safety glasses. He had welding glasses on, wasn't enough. Particles went in, and his eyes got burned. He was blind for about 3 weeks, had to wear bandages. They didn't know he'd have his eyesight back, and his eyes went from blue to green. But it's really burns. It burned the front of his eye. And he has like yellow burns on his eye, but I don't know why I'm telling that story now. Okay, anyways, I'm going to do a special on lasers very soon. Believe me, it's going to be a viral video. Wait, this has been done for months. I've got to finish it up. I mean, we shot the video of the lasers. I'm just going to leave it at that. I like to have fun. But let me get back to North Korea. Here's Paul Craig Roberts' article dealing with trying to start war in the Middle East with people that aren't starting it and putting al-Qaeda in Libya and Syria and all these areas. He's got starting Armageddon in the face, but hiding it with official lies. That's right. It's all about doing it publicly, but then openly denying it just to condition you to accept pure lies and then not even know what's true unless you spend time to actually ferret it out. And then you just try to talk to the cattle out there who think it's cool, who wear their ignorance like an armor. They don't want to know. And so here it is. North Korea threatens preemptive nuclear strike on U.S. South begin war games. South Korea and U.S. begin military drills as North Korea threatens war. That's today, AP. North Korea cuts hotline with South, threatens nuclear strike as war games begin. And let me tell you, Kim Jong-un is actually in command. And when you look at how mentally ill his generals are, wearing stuff that looks like suits from 100 years ago and driving 57 Chevys around, and weirdos crying for 2 days straight when Kim Jong-il dies. I mean, this is megalomania. I mean, Hitler turned into Russia, who'd never been beaten, and went and fought numbers of 5, 6 to 1 when he was already losing in the West. He got delusional. And the Germans were about 100 times less delusional historically and thought they might be able to win and lost millions of soldiers, by the way, and had a more high-tech military. North Korea's got a bunch of artillery, some old tanks, and a bunch of brainwashed people that'll do whatever they're told. But it's over, folks. North Korea actually starts something. And see, most groups like Iran may even be playing a double game with the globalists. I mean, we know in Iran-Contra they made deals with Reagan and others. And Chavez, there was some double gaming going on. But with North Korea, I've analyzed it. China keeps them on a leash, but not a very short one. And, I mean, they're a real wild card. And it's always been said by analysts that I agree with, like Joel Skousen. Let's get Joel Skousen on. Let's get Joel Skousen on tomorrow if we can. That North Korea will be the trigger for the big one. And what was Lindsey Williams told 3 years ago? He goes, don't worry about the Middle East. They're going to start a big war, use riots and things to take that down. And that came true. He has a Bilderberg-level source. I don't even know who it is. Can't say the name, obviously. But look for North Korea. That's the big one. And right as the global financial collapse is about to accelerate, I mean, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but this is getting close. With them ending the armistice, ending the ceasefire. And now I briefly, before I go to your calls, want to talk about the spectacle of Kim Jong-un, the third-generation dictator, where there's only power in a few military bases around the country and the main city, and they've got high-tech CAT scanners and the best equipment and Colby beef flown in from Japan and high-priced hookers flown in constantly for them, and even B-movie stars flown in from Japan, South Korea, and the U.S. to service the every whim of Kim Jong-il, and now his son, who showed up whenever he took over the throne. That's what it is. It's royalty. That's why royalty's so despicable. A couple more generations, they will be wearing crowns. They show up over there, and when he first got in there 6, 7 months ago, or was it a year ago his dad died? Time flies. And he was all shell-shocked, looked like the little kid who'd been living in Switzerland, who was fascinated with basketball, the NBA, and movies. He was like this wide-eyed, the new Supreme Commander. And now he has that demonic look, yeah. And I watched the video. You all saw it a week ago. I was out of town. Dennis Rodman hugging him and them hugging, and Kim Jong-un's a great guy, and it's so much fun. And the sycophanticness of a burnout nobody celebrity getting all this, enjoyment and fame off of this infamy, and Kim Jong-un hugging him and all the sycophants around them and the gibbering and the evil and people playing basketball where if you don't do a good job, you're sent to a death camp. And Rodman defending that and saying he's a wonderful person, and all the psychos, vampires that are starved on their own defeated people, seeing a fake celebrity there to visit them in their kingdom of shame is so disgusting, and it gets worse. Look at how Kim Jong-un operates. Threatening to nuke everyone, threatening to kill everyone, just like the globalist. Do what we say or Al-Qaeda will blow up America. Big sis ought to marry Kim Jong-un. She was just saying last week, terrorists will attack if you don't give us unlimited Homeland Security funding. Holder, give us the guns or more kids will die. We know you got wind-up toys doing these shootings, buddy. They're all under government psychiatric care. One of them was Air Force Run in Colorado. I mean, we know you're using terror to keep us under control as well. You just had a richer, more powerful nation to suck off of, and you've taken our wealth and destroyed it, but you use the same system of control. And you will debase us down to North Korea level because it's not just about you having all the power. It's about you watching us suffer. That's why you want us dependent and under your control, because you're the same diseased, rotting, ugly, demonic filth. Look at Big Sis. Look at Obama. Look at all these people. And they're just mercenaries for the bankers. Look at the top bankers. They are ugly, unhappy, wicked, turned over to evil people who themselves go to celebrity banquets constantly to sit up there like peacocks and be worshipped. They are empty, soulless, fallen, cancerous people who took over because they're anti-human and don't follow the regular codes that we do. And that doesn't make them strong. It makes them degenerate. And I'm telling you, if I ever see Dennis Rodman, I'm getting in his face. And I just get nauseous nauseous seeing Kim Jong-il, but they're an expression of what all mega tyrants become, of what all big government and big corporations creates. The unaccountability, the thuggish mafia behavior, and I swear, eternal resistance against all of these scum. We'll be back with your calls. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.